Welcome to the Payments Ecosystem podcast. This is an episode where we continue to delve into the ever evolving world of digital transactions, exploring technology, trends, and strategies shaping the future of payments. I'm your host, and today we have a truly exciting episode. We're joined by two exceptional guests from Cashfree Payments: Ramkumar, the Senior Vice President of Engineering, and Durga, Software Development Engineer. Sit back and get ready to dive into this fascinating discussion. This is an episode you don't want to miss. Hi, Ramkumar. Hi, Durga. Welcome to the Payments Ecosystem podcast. How are you guys doing today?
Hi,
Hi,
Shiladitya.
Shiladitya. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Hi. Thank you. Thanks so much for the time. It's great to have you guys on the show. We've been doing this series, like I was saying, for a while, and we've had a lot of your colleagues from Cashfree, of course, join us already. Both of you today are actually the first folks from, pure engineering disciplines within the company joining us. So I am really looking forward to the conversation. I think you'll be able to give us a whole different perspective of how things are inside and outside when it comes to both cash free and payments. But just to sort of get started and ask maybe a very obvious question, but given that you're both engineers, what is your engineering specialization? Where have you done your engineering from? What's your background? Maybe Durga, if you want to go first.
Yeah, so I did my graduation from NIT Bhopal. I'm a 2020 batch graduate, and I did my specialization in computer science only.
Okay, lovely. Ramkumar, what about yourself? You've of course been here a much longer time, and your graduation was probably a while back.
Yeah, I've been in this world for a long, long time. A few decades before I graduated. Yeah, so I did my triple E from Bitspilani, and then I switched to. I wanted to come into software, so I did my masters from ASU, and yeah,
Amazing. Awesome. So, I mean, it's great to have both of you here together. Just to also understand, it's great to see that uh, there's a team, and it's core engineering, which also, and both of you have been doing payments now within Cashfree, of course. And there's so much to still solve. And I'd like to actually start with you, maybe Ramkumar, given the amount of experience you've had. You before you got into cash free, before maybe you got into payments, those 2 decades of your work, what was it like? What was the background, and what made you all the more interested to sort of jump on board here?
yeah. So I've worked on different products and different ways of delivering software. So the first job I had was right. We delivered software in CDs. Then software outgrew that. It went into DVDs. Then software as servers, and right, so much has changed. Mobile phones were just starting out when I started my job, and now right it's come to the level of apps, and everything that we do on mobile phones, etc. Right, so much has changed in the 20 plus years that I've been working on, and it's been a great journey going through all of these sort of really life changing points. Internet was just starting around that time, right? And why cash free? I think right, I worked in a lot of different companies, and I really wanted to work in a product company that's sort of made out of India. And last few years, it's been phenomenal growth for SaaS product companies coming out of India, and Cashfree is one great example of that. And that was my primary sort of reason to join Cashfree, to be having an impact in India and then take this globally as well. And it's our time in the world
Yeah.
right now, and wanted to join that bandwagon.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing to hear the fact that software was sold on CDs. Of course, I am also from the same era. You can see the gray hair on me, so I do remember that. But it's definitely a huge mindset shift. When you realize the way of delivering products and services has changed so drastically that you no longer have to ship in the traditional sense a physical item for someone to uh, reap the benefits of some code you wrote. It's pretty much instantaneous. Probably a world, Durga, you were born into, right?
Yeah.
As part of I don't know whether it's the whole CI/CD mindset that most people have today, but tell us about a little bit of the sectors that you've been a part of, if prior to cash free as well.
Prior to Cashfree, I was just looking for Cashfree only. My
Okay.
story is a bit different.
Wow.
I am a 2020 graduate, and that time COVID came. So I got my campus placement offer from one of the established companies, MNC. But
Mhm.
during COVID, the joining was delayed. So my search for a good startup accelerated that time. And I always wanted to work in a product based company where I can see the change in
Mhm.
just short term only, just like I've delivered something and I'm able to see it in market. So that's when I
Wow.
found Cashfree, and hence it is my first company.
Wow. See, that's, I mean, again, that's some amazing, I would say, dichotomy of how this conversation is shaping up, right? I mean, both of you were ultimately looking for something in the same spirit, right? As a product company, a fast growing company, and that to the kind of tech and payments company that Cashfree is, uh, given the opportunity the country has. I think it's the right choice, obviously, that you've both made. I'd like to dig in a little deeper into, let's say, understanding the kind of roles you both play. Ramkumar, coming back to you, what are the kind of projects or product roadmap items that you look after? What are the some of the, you can say, innovations you and your team have done? If you could, describe your day to day maybe for us.
Okay. Yeah, I lead the engineering teams here at Cashfree. So every day, new products are getting shipped, right? Durga and right, lot of engineers like Durga, passionate about building great products is a thing. And we also want to build a great engineering culture. Right. So fintech is sort of in a different right, ball game, right? It has to be fast, it has to be accurate, it has to be secure to gain the trust of people, right? So every single day we are releasing new and new features to make the lives of people easier, right? We were touching about 150 million people who interacted with some or the other product of cash free, and thanks to all the teams who are innovating day in, day out. My job is to support them to be the most effective in doing their job.
And just continuing on that, given that this is by now, I'm sure, a very large engineering team, as engineering leader, you obviously have seen various versions of, like you said yourself, how products get built and how products are shipped. What are some of the things you would say is maybe new and unique you've been able to instill, even in the way of work or the culture that you have here?
Um, I think staying curious, questioning status quo, and backing it up with sort of data and analysis, right? And right, sometimes we don't have the perfect answer. Um, right, be curious, have an hypothesis, go try, experiment, collect data, see what works, see what doesn't work, um, interact with customers, see their pain points, and make the product better day in, day out, right? That's how we've been able to launch new products, right? So we've launched new products in payment forms and payment links to make the small business merchants even more effective, right? Everyone may not be able to build their entire website and then build a payment, etc., right? But with a very simple no code solution, in a matter of hours to days, they can start accepting payments using our payment forms and payment links on the website, right? So this is bringing the more of the offline segment also online, and
Mhm.
sort of again, right, helping India grow. And we've launched new things on cross-border payments also, right? Like a lot of people,
Right.
Indians are becoming more wealthier. They are traveling abroad, and a lot of travel is happening from abroad into India also, right? So cross-border payments also becomes very critical, whether you're buying stocks outside, where you go for higher education, you're traveling, etc. And we've launched products there also to make commerce across borders, make it even border free, is
Right.
new innovative products that we've launched recently.
Very nice. I mean, and of course, I've heard some of these from your other colleagues on previous episodes as well. I think from the early days to sort of solving just one or two problems for cash free, I think now the roadmap is looking really exciting. So, I'll continue to see what kind of innovations come as the payment landscape itself evolves. But coming to you, Durga, given that you've spent some time here and like you said, it's your first opportunity to sort of contribute to the payment story in India, and of course, as an engineer, work on these innovative things. What is something that you look forward to solving? Like, have you, like Ramkumar said, in your curiosity, what is it that something you want to really try and take a crack at when it comes to solving an engineering challenge in this space?
Uh, so till now we have done a great job. I mean, we have launched a lot of products, but still there is a lot of scope because payment ecosystem. I feel it's emerging day by day. Day by day, new regulations are coming, compliances are coming. So there's a lot of opportunities, and even we don't predict what's coming on my way next. What would be my next product? What would be my next feature? So yeah, I'm
Right.
always looking forward to it.
Okay. And I we keep obviously hearing about so much buzz happening in tech in general. I think the latest flavor of that is obviously AI and ML and versions of this, which has always been around. But again, since it is what everyone is talking about now, what is your take on this? Maybe if you want to continue on that, Durga, have you found something interesting which you think you could apply here at even cash free?
Yeah, I have done a few projects in my college on AI ML. So it's always great to predict something, to figure out something automatically by training models. So yeah, in
Right.
Cashfree, we could do a lot more things with AI, like risk. We have to detect the fraud.
Mm.
It's the most. I mean, fintech is a place where you need to detect the fraud very elegantly. Otherwise, your company may shut down the next day. You may not know.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
definitely AI would play a role in that. And we have a lot of customer queries, services, so we can apply AI there as well.
Very nice. Ramko, I mean, from your viewpoint, what do you think? How are you encouraging, let's say, teams here to look at using these new age technologies or services into the
Yeah,
things that they do?
yeah. I think as Durga said, right. I think risk and fraud detection is something that we are actively using AI and ML. And we being the number one in the world in digital payments, right? People are going to be targeting us, right? So India
Yeah.
does get a lot of attention from the hackers, etc. And so we have to build solid solutions to take that down. And that's one area that we are looking at. And yeah, providing a great customer support experience, not just for merchants but for the end customers, using AI ML is another area that we are looking at. And I think during COVID, we bought this iRobot, right, the vacuum cleaner, and it's been great. I
Hmm.
don't know how we would have survived without the iRobot thing when we were in complete lockdown. It's a great,
Right.
great application of AML and great assistant. And I think that is, and ChatGPT this year and late last year is sort of going to revolutionize that, right? It just sort of taken off. Actually, AML was there even when I did my
Yeah.
masters. People were doing PhDs in AI, but it took a long while. But I think now with the power of cloud, power of computing, and how much ever I want, right? I can as long as I can pay for it. It's powering the AI, right? And how do we make that as an assistant to our engineering teams? How can we make them more effective, do things that can be done by them so that they can solve bigger problems that only humans can do, right? So that's also
Yeah.
very, I think it's going to change how software development happens, how engineers work. I don't see any sort of downside to that. We've evolved. I think people were afraid of the trains. People were afraid that it will take away their
Yeah.
jobs, kind of thing. But that's not going to happen, right? I think humans created all of the AI ML, and it's going to assist us to solve bigger and better problems. And we are looking at all of these aspects, including even providing the best offers, personalized offers for our buyers
Mhm.
through our affordability engine, rather than they having to weed through a lot of options, right? If we can
Mhm.
sort of recommend that this is what I think for this particular thing that you're looking to buy is a great offer engine, I think it'll be helping them make choices faster.
Think, Ramkumar, that you've mentioned that ChatGPT is also going to help your teams, because I've actually seen quite a few folks try out making ChatGPT write code for them, and by and large, I think it seems to work, especially simple tasks. So you might suddenly see folks like Durga and a lot of others becoming super, I would say, organized in their code with all the comments in place. Delivering stuff much faster. So yeah, I think that's a definite upside. Makes everyone do their job easier and smarter. So okay, changing track a little bit to Ramkumar, to yourself as well. Uh, you've spent a significant amount of your time working, like you said, in various industries before this, including almost a decade in in the US, in companies like Oracle, and now in this sort of a fast-paced startup in India again, where you've been in India for some time, you've seen the work culture here. What can you tell us in terms of the methodology of working, or the just the, I would say, the focus on delivering? What are some of the similarities and contrasts to how engineering is done here versus what you saw before?
Yeah. Yeah, I think US and Silicon Valley was a great experience, and I was there during the internet boom and the internet bust also. And but that was a great experience. I think, right, software engineers there, they have a passion to build the best products in the world, and they really take pride in that. And almost right, all software things that we were using and we still using came from US at that point, right? And we, I think, in Bangalore now we have the exact same opportunity to replicate that and go much more than that, right? And it's exact same thing like that, right? We are having the internet boom, or we have the digital boom in India, and that way I think similarities are great, and we have the same set of passionate people who want to build the best products in the world. And I think 5 years, 10 years down the line, I think we'll replicate the same success where all over people in the world are using products, software products made in, and other products as well, made in India, and Indian products become a household name. And
Mhm.
I would say, I think comparing them is like comparing Nadal and Federer, right? It's like going to be a great
Wow,
match,
nice.
and very competitive, and great skills, and two largest democracies in the world, right? So I think it's great. It was great working there. It's great working here, and yeah, pretty good.
You know, maybe I'll ask Durga this first, but given again, this being your first work experience, work culture, and since you've spent some time here now, over 2 years at Cashfree, uh, what is something that you would want to change in the way you do things, if you think so?
Uh, I mean, truly, I can say there's nothing. I mean, cons and cash free till now I have seen. Uh,
Hmm.
Few things are changing. Like when I joined in 2020, we were only 50 developers, and now we have a team of more than 300 people. So
Wow.
yeah, uh, process are getting more streamlined as we are growing in a positive
Right.
way.
Right.
So yeah,
All right.
that time we
Okay.
do not have a much product engineer, product managers, QAs. We do not have a bigger team for infra, and we do not have product common teams where they can support in our things that are common to each product. So we have that now. It's great. I mean, it's going great.
So things have obviously gotten better since the time you
Yes.
even joined, and it's a testament to the growth that the company's had, I believe,
Yes.
especially in these last 2 years during COVID. I think that's when the massive spike happened for payments in general, right? As a overall ecosystem for India. What are some of the, in fact, if I can ask, what are some of the early memories that you either of you have of just when you jumped on board, Durga? Like you said, it was your first ever job, so I'm guessing it was you came in with a lot of, I would say, open mind when it came to the kind of company you were coming on board with. But what are some of the earliest memories you can tell us about?
Yeah, so when I joined, we were just four people joined in from my batch. So I remember my first day, I was with my mentor buddy. So I was way much curious how payments are processing, in what all apps you have integrated. I mean, what all are the legs cash-free apps like
Mhm.
payments, collections, and how you are debiting from my account and giving it to someone else. So
Yeah,
the first interaction I remember with my mentor was very much curious. I was just asking questions and questions, uh, way much curious to know how the payments are flowing, how you are handling this big data. I mean, we have merchants that are so big, like Zomato and all.
right.
So I was very much curious. That I remember my
Nice.
first day.
Very nice. I mean, of course, I can imagine this was already a running engine even when you joined. So a lot of moving parts. Ramkumar, what if I ask you the same? What was it like early on?
Yeah, I think I joined during the COVID time, right? We were still just coming out of COVID, and I came in and I was actually thinking, right, maybe I'll just collect the laptop, it'll be an empty office, and
Right.
maybe go back home. But I think even during those days, there were people who were quite passionate, they were there. And even the first day, some of the early engineers, they were walking me through the products, and they were so excited to explain everything, and it kept going, and we were late into the right evening, night, and they were still right so much to for them to talk about. They were so proud about what they've built and what all they still have to build, and it was a great onboarding experience, right? It was not like a boring thing that was sitting and
Yeah,
someone was reluctantly explaining what they built, but
Hmm.
they had so much to share, so much to discuss. It was great.
that's great. And I think this is something, again, I've heard a lot from the colleagues I've spoken to already. And, just to switch gears as well, there's a lot of, I would say, passion in the room when it comes to not just the job that you do, but also, I would say, helping others, collaborating. I think this is definitely something I've heard a lot being repeated as part of the culture here. Uh, so if I ask both of you again, uh, how do you maintain this sort of passion towards your work? I'm sure there's an aspect of your life where you also, let's say, tune out, uh, take a break, relax, uh, you know come back refreshed. So what can you tell us about the personal side of your day to day? So Ramkumar, if I ask you first, what are you
Yeah.
passionate about? What makes you take apart from what you do at Cashfree?
I think it's yeah, it keeps changing over the years, and
Mhm.
I play a lot of sports, different sports. I think some natural I think ability was there, so I think yeah, I like playing, I like seeing, watching sports, and as I've been growing and as my gray hair proportion has been increasing, spend more time on sort of philosophy, reading books on philosophy. A lot of time these days on weekends goes into that, meditation
Mhm.
and yoga and all that. And I think that 2 days, right, of sort of full fully shutting off other than if we have some issues helps me sort of recharge, and then really it'll come on Monday fully focused, and then sort of work
Right.
hard during the weekday, and then recharge completely during the weekend.
Amazing. And I mean, yeah, I completely understand that, given I'm probably in the same boat, like I said. But Durga, what about you?
For me, the first question you asked, the passion, how it is there in inbuilt in Cashfree's people. So it's just like that. I mean, if you talk with someone, the vibe just matches. You see the
Mhm.
same amount of passion, energy with everyone. Either it's my junior or it's my seniors or it's a top level. It just matches automatically. We I mean, if I'm looking at someone, I can feel how is the day for that person. Like some days I'm just sitting like that and people come to me and say, you are looking tense, just chill, just come to me if you have to ask anything, or you need any help. So yeah, it's in Cashfree's culture. And for me, how spend my weekends is, I like to learn something new on my weekends also. So when I'm going to sleep every day, it's my motive that I learn something new every day. So on
Oh,
weekends
wow.
also, uh, I read on different technologies or some world affairs or something. So when I go to sleep, I feel very satisfied and rewarded. Uh,
You're setting the bar really high for, ambition at your at your, I would say, stage of career as well. So that's great to hear, of course. And the fact that, uh, whatever you do at work allows you to still be as passionate or as inquisitive and curious about other things. So I think that's a testament to the kind of vibe that you just said everyone
yeah,
has in the office.
yeah. In
So
those terms, I'm thankful to Keshri that in first my 4 years of career, I want a growing graph for my learning, and that's what I got it here.
So, Durga, continuing on this whole the passion that you spoke about and the kind of things that you do just for personal growth in this stage of your career as well. What are some of the other hobbies that you have? Like, do you listen to podcasts? Do you read books? Do you want to recommend something? Uh, is there something you've heard recently, or read recently, or seen recently?
Yeah. So other than my work, I like art and craft. So the thing which is, I mean, anything which is fine art. Let's say it's a
Mhm.
painting or crafting something. So that's what I do in my free time. Other than that, I read a few technical blogs. I mean, every engineer might be aware of it, like
Of course.
Netflix and all. Podcast, I haven't listened yet, but for sure, after this, I'll
Now,
go back
yes,
and
now you're
listen.
on one.
Yeah.
So
The
great.
one book which I read recently is Indra Nui. So I just wanted that
Yeah.
learning from her how she has balanced work and life as a woman. So our path would be similar in future as well. So I want the learnings from
Wonderful.
those
Wonderful.
leaders. And
That's great to hear.
one of the basic books is Atomic Habits. We have read
Mhm.
that in our school colleges, but it's good to revise it again. And then in movies, I watched The Imitation Game. It's a
Mhm.
historical drama where it revolves around the invention of world's first computer by
Yeah,
Alan Turing. So yeah, it's
that's
also
right.
interesting.
Great movie. I love that.
Yeah.
Since you spoke so much about your obviously ambitious career that you have thought for yourself ahead, I want to ask you, if it was not cash free, what would your dream job or dream career look like? Have you ever thought about it?
Uh, yes, if it is not Cashfree, if it is not engineering side, I would have stayed in my hometown where uh, the primary income for my family is just farming, but people can do more on that. So that is much more unexplored, like growing crops that are not explored in my region. growing a side income, like maybe a cow dairy or some mango orchards, or maybe something on my land only.
Wow, that's amazing. And again, these are, I'm sure someone from there, I hope, is following that passion and doing things which make even that sort of a career amazing and flourishing. Uh,
Yes.
Ramkumar, coming back to you, I would love to ask you the same questions. Like, I know you mentioned been doing some me time activities on the weekends, but do you listen to podcasts?
Yeah, podcasts on some of the philosophy topics, and yeah, I do
Mhm.
listen to them.
Awesome. Yeah. And of course, I think India is late in the podcast wave compared to the US. So you probably had heard about them already when maybe even a decade ago, because that revolution had started there.
Yeah.
Uh, but again, given your career has taken you so many places, if it was not cash free, what what sort of direction would you have thought? Have you ever thought of an alternate universe where your job would have taken you?
Yeah, I think in the software space, I think yeah, it was a perfect journey. Whatever happened, it seemed perfect. But maybe if I had not got into software, I think very surprisingly, we when I started my first computer science thing, right, we had a program on a diskette, and it was a horoscope generator. I don't
Oh
know
wow.
how accurate it was, but we put in our name, date of birth, and all. It printed out saying that you would be a lawyer. And one of my
Nice.
childhood friend used to say you should get into law and all of that. I think over time now, right, I'm sort of very um, right, the great lawyers making sort of great arguments. Right? It's very actually an analytic profession, very similar
Yeah.
to software, though it might have in some context not that great a name. But lawyers are there who are protecting the rights and protecting right, the genuine folks. I think that probably would have been a very interesting thing. I like to debate. I like to discuss
Nice.
things and go take it to a logical conclusion. I think I would have ended up being a lawyer.
That's great. I think these both of these are the best answers I've got so far when I've asked someone what you would have done. And both of you from core engineering disciplines have given me such diverse dream jobs that you would have done. So it's great to hear. And I'm glad to hear that, you know, you do have the mind space for thinking creatively like this. But coming back to fintech, and maybe, since we've been talking so much about payments and the entire ecosystem, uh, I would obviously like to ask, why do you think fintech is the future? Why do you think that, this is where anyone who is in, let's say, engineering or starting, whether, Durga, like yourself, started out your career in engineering, or even folks who have been doing software for some time now, the smartest minds that we have, why is payments a space to be in now and in the coming future? And of course, why cash free? So Ramko, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I think for any business, right, money has to be exchanged, right, unless we want to go back to the barter system. So it sort of powers everything that happens, and bringing efficiency there, making that faster, moves commerce so much more, right? I think we are powering India to the fifth largest, fourth, third, and maybe soon to the largest, right? And now we're talking about India trading in INR with 18 countries, and I'm hoping that that will
Yeah.
grow soon. So there are going to be even more innovative opportunities there, right? I think we might have our own equivalent of Swift protocol at some point. So there's so much to be done in fintech, and I think because it being the foundation of commerce, the amplifying effect is going to be so much more, right? uh,
Right.
India and is at the forefront, right? So the digital rupee, the cryptocurrency, all of this also is going to be evolving And another great thing is the transparency that it brings, right? So we were used to say suitcases of cash and
Yeah.
right, some videos circulating out of that. I think fintech is playing its own thing in sort of eradicating corruption. Right? We hope that it'll go down to zero at some point, and that would make people's lives so much more better. Right? In the absence of corruption, I think India would already be number one in the world. Right? And fintech, I think, is going to enable that. So it's a great place to have an impact. And why cash free, as Durga and all our engineers would say, right? While the goals are very, very ambitious, you need to have a great journey as well, right? Like great colleagues who would come and tell people, right, just chill out and things will be
Yeah.
fine, ask for help, and we are in it together. So Cashfree is a great place, great culture of people, great engineering culture, and right, a winning mindset as well um,
Mhm.
to build the best products.
Durga, maybe the same question to you, but with also the addition to, let's say, ask for someone looking to join, for, like, just like you joined a couple of years back with an open mind. What is that quality someone should have if they wanted to come on board, yeah, your team? But yes, why fintech is the future, and why payments, why cash free, and what do they need to bring to the table?
Uh, yeah, why fintech is, it is the base for everything. Let's say if you are starting even a small startup, no, you need some sort of fintech in that.
Yeah,
You need to collect, you need to disperse the money. So businesses may come and go, but fintech is always there. So
well
that's
said.
what
Yeah.
the thought I had when I joined Cashfree, because it's COVID and businesses were going down and down. But fintech is the only space, it will survive in any condition. So
Right.
fintech is the future. There's a lot more to solve. And why Cashfree? Because uh, what would I say? I mean, Ram has covered everything, but in Cashfree, the culture is so great. Uh, we are moving on a very fast pace. I mean, year by year, we are seeing at more than 2x growth in everything. So yeah, Cashfree is in a very good stage. Once my manager also said me, you are in Cashfree, but you are at the right time also, where
Hmm.
you are getting the opportunities, the products that are built. You have the opportunity to scale them to the level that you haven't thought of. At the same time, you'll get the opportunity to build the features from very scratch. So it's a
Yeah.
great combination. You are getting the base, you are feature building features on top of that. So that's why Cashfree. And the people who are looking to join Cashfree, I would say, if you are able to adapt to the change, then it's a place for Cashfree. Then it's a place for you to join. And you should be curious enough, you should have a problem solving mindset, because every day we have a new problem. And I
Oh,
can see
nice.
every member in my team is coming with their own 2 3 approaches. So the problem solving mindset should be there.
That's wonderful. Yeah. Awesome. I mean, thank you to, again, both of you for sharing so much. I think I the only thing I could add to this is the fact that, uh, not just from a culture standpoint, where engineers and builders and people who work in, let's say, the software development disciplines are able to not just be, let's say, executors, but also thinkers, but also problem solvers, like you said. I think that itself, that sort of environment is the most ideal environment one would want, right? Whatever stage of life you are in your career, if you've been in software, you want to be a builder, you want ownership, you want the ability to solve problems, and sometimes there are, like you said, various approaches to a problem. I think that is a very key part of what I'm hearing from both of you, that builds the culture here at Cashfree. And as far as the payments landscape goes, I think, yes, we will expect only more innovation to make payments safer, faster, more efficient, more transparent, like you said, Ram. uh, I think all of these angles make this an exciting career and an exciting ecosystem to be a part of. Thank you to both of you for sharing this, for sharing your thoughts, and of course, speaking to us on this podcast. I really appreciate the time, and I hope to get you both, listening to this series, and of course, any more. Please listen to the all your other colleagues who have shared their views as well, and look forward to continue this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Shiladitya. Great talking to you. Although you're in Mumbai, we're in Bangalore. Think there's a great connect. Great meeting you.
No, I'm happy to. Like I said, I feel like I know a lot more about the company and the team. Through this series, it's amazing to see that how we need to how close I've sort of feel to Cashfree overall. Even though I've had the opportunity to speak to the founders early on, I think getting to know all of you and hearing this is really really inspiring. So kudos, keep inspiring everyone. Thank you,
Thanks.
Durgas.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Shiladit. Thank you for having us.